Welcome to Sunday School for Sunday, November 19th, 2023, for our junior high students. I do not own the rights to this music. Today's Bible basis is coming out of Exodus chapter 14, verses 21 through 30. The title of our story today, I Do It Because I Like It. Alicia and her friend Marie were hanging out at the park after school. Well, Alicia, I guess it's time to get home, Marie said. I told my mother I'd be home by 4 o'clock. Okay, just let me get this quick smoke in. You're smoking? Do you know how bad that is for you? I've heard all that before. It can't be that bad, or my cousin would have never let me try in the first place. Besides, I tried to quit before. I can't believe this. Alicia, it's really bad for you. When I quit, I miss it. I hear it's really hard to quit too. You gain weight, feel sick, all kinds of stuff I might not be ready for. But if I smoke just a little bit, I'll stay fine and thin. Alicia laughed. Well, I don't know about all of that, Marie said, but I'll help you as much as I can, and I'll go with you to get some help if you want it. Alicia took one more drag on her cigarette, put it out, and looked at Marie. Thanks. I'll think about it. Marie walked in the house, shaking her head and looking confused. Her mom walked up to greet her. What's going on, honey? You look a little sad. Not sad, just a little confused. I found out one of my friends was smoking. Smoking? Did you smoke? No, Mom. She wouldn't listen when I talked to her about how bad smoking is. What do I do? Honey, sometimes people stick with what makes them comfortable, even if it is bad for them. Pray for her to choose what is good for her over what feels good. The memory verse for today. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. And that's Exodus chapter 14, verse 30. Our lesson scripture coming out of Exodus chapter 14, verses 21 through 30. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the waters were divided. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went in after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. And it came to pass that in the morning watch the Lord looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians, and took off their chariot wheels, that they drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, Let us flee from the face of Israel, for the Lord fighteth for them against the Egyptians. And the Lord said unto Moses, Stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon their chariots, and upon their horsemen. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to its strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it. And the Lord overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea, and the waters returned and covered the chariots, and the horsemen, and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. Thus the Lord saved Israel that day out of the hand of the Egyptians, and Israel saw the Egyptians dead upon the seashore. Beginning of freedom. Freedom doesn't come easy. Once the Israelites were freed from slavery, They had to travel to a land where they could enjoy and work to keep their freedom. Even when people are freed from a binding situation, freedom and newness is sometimes scary. The Israelites left slavery where they knew what to expect every day and became free, not knowing where they would live or what they should expect. They traveled a longer way to get to the Red Sea. They feared being pursued and killed. The Israelites followed a pillar of fire at night and a cloud by day. Throughout their uncertain journey, God's presence was always with them. How to run. Remember that God always has a plan. Understand that it takes work to stay free. Nurture your faith through prayer and meditation on God's provision. From despair to deliverance, God created a way out when there was none. After much prayer and difficulty, the Israelites were finally free from bondage. Many of the Israelites began to complain and desire the familiarity of slavery rather than unfamiliar freedom. Alicia continues to smoke even when she has heard that it isn't good for her, but she has chosen what makes her comfortable over what would make her well. But despite the situation, God is always present and prepared to make a way for us to choose what is best for us once we are open to accepting it. Participate. Brainstorm some issues that need attention in your city: homelessness, literacy, food deserts, etc. Research some local agencies that help to heal any of these societal issues. Come back next week with suggestions of local groups for your class that your class can work with: Habitat for Humanity, Feeding America, etc. Your teacher will help you put together a plan and schedule so your class can get involved. The best thanks for God's gift of freedom is to help give it to someone else. The Bible readings for the week. Monday, the topic is offering our possessions. Read Exodus chapter 35, verses 4 through 9. Tuesday, the topic is offering our skills. Read Exodus chapter 35, verses 10 through 19. Wednesday, the topic is stirred hearts and willing spirits. Read Exodus chapter 35, verses 20 through 29. Thursday, the topic is skills for every kind of work. Read Exodus chapter 35, verses 30 to 35. Friday, the topic is an overabundance of offerings. Read Exodus chapter 36, verses 2 through 7. Saturday, the topic is blessing the faithful workers. Read Exodus chapter 39, verses 32 through 43. Sunday, the topic is God affirms the completed work. Read Exodus chapter 40, verses 16 through 30, then verses 34 and 38. The end. God bless you and thank you for joining me today.